As part of my mission to get the Republic working again, today I'm going to be launching Civic Saturday. On Civic Saturday, which will be the second Saturday of each month, I want to encourage everyone to take just a couple hours out of their day to devote to civic and community engagement. And I know that sounds nerdy and idealistic, and I am both of those things. But I believe that Americans need to come together, relate to each other as Americans, do things for each other as Americans, in order for us to begin to overcome the division and the isolation that is plaguing us, and begin to move things in a more positive direction. And beyond that, just as human beings, we need stronger communities to feel healthy and happy and secure. And a lot of us don't have that kind of community right now. So I am hoping that Civic Saturday will provide the structure and hopefully the tradition for Americans to come together and do things for each other. Just think of it like church, but once a month and for America and all of us together. Now, I know that that is an ambitious goal, and it sounds like a lot to bite off. But honestly, there is a very simple way to get this started, which is to use Civic Saturday to start building communities right inside our own neighborhoods, right outside our own front doors. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to go door to door, introduce myself, get people's contact information, and then use that to throw a big old block party right here on the next Civic Saturday. And I'm doing that so that you can see that not only is this possible, but it's fun and rewarding, and it only takes one person to do it. Just one person in a neighborhood can get this started and start building a community in that neighborhood. So if you are inspired to be that person and you plan a Civic Saturday event, I want you to tell my campaign about it, because I want to bring my crew out and put your event on camera so that people can see that other people are doing this too. And we can begin to start a Civic Saturday movement of building strong, active communities in our own neighborhoods that we all want and need. Now, let's go meet my neighbors. Hi, my name's Josh.
Terrell,
Nice to meet you, Terrell. I'm out here today trying to organize everybody to put together a block party. And I'm doing this as part of a congressional campaign, but not attached to the congressional campaign. I'm running for Congress against Mark Amodei. But I really believe that we need to build communities better in order to get our republic working the way that it's supposed to. Right. So I'm trying to do that right here, get the neighborhood out, and start building a strong community right here in the neighborhood so we can all get to know each other and be mutually supportive and just have a good time. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. This being a new community, we were among one of the first here. And just like you said, just coming together. I'd like to get to know all of our neighbors, since this is a pretty large community in a small space.
Right.
I just look forward to getting to know everybody.
Right on. Now, are you a politically active person? Like, you a registered voter?
Yes, I'm a registered voter.
So I got to ask you then, like, what are you looking for out of a congressperson? Like, when you were thinking about who you're going to vote for Congress, what are your priorities? What's the kind of qualities that you want to see in that person?
Someone that's honest.
Yeah.
Someone that's honest. Someone with family values, and just an altogether good person. Just someone, that, like myself. Like, I'm really family orientated. Like I said, it's honesty is like the main thing for me.
I agree with you 100%. Like, one of the things that I'm trying to do with this campaign is be completely open and honest and transparent about everything. Because like you, I am fed up with people like not being straight.
Right.
So I'll give you honest answers to anything, and I'm gonna tell people stuff that may not even make me look particularly good, or that they might not want to hear. Because I figure, if people trust you and they like you and they agree with you on more than they disagree with you, that they'll still be willing to vote for you, right, even if they disagree with you on some stuff. So I encourage you to go check out my website, find out what I'm all about. My big issue really is trying to get big money out of politics, because I don't think that the system is ever going to deliver for us the way that we need it to until we get that done first. So even with all of the crazy stuff that's going on right now, like, we need to focus strategically long term on what we need to do to get the government working for us the way that we need it to. And I think if we don't do that, things are only going to get worse. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's nice meeting you, Terrell.
Nice meeting you too.
I'll be in touch, and we'll get this party started. So I'm doing this as part of an effort that I'm calling Civic Saturday. I'm trying to encourage people to get out on the second Saturday of every month and just like engage in their community or just in their neighborhood doing stuff like this. So I'm going to start this here. I'm going to put it all up on camera and try and encourage people to do the same thing.
As a Nevadan, public lands are a super big thing for me.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah, not super happy. Honestly, the biggest thing for me, I'm a veteran.
Okay.
And psychedelic treatment saved my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I actually work for a Ibogaine. Ibogaine is the psychedelic in Mexico.
Okay.
I've testified at the legislature multiple times
Right
in
on.
favor of psychedelic treatment for veterans and first responders. So that's my number one thing, is allowing the people who served our communities to have access to life-saving treatment. Yeah, that's hands down my number one thing.
I'm totally behind that. So you should know that I am a bipolar person.
Okay.
So I'm like running openly as a bipolar person.
Very great.
And I agree with you 100%. I think that would be great. Like personally, I would love to be able to do psychedelic treatment, but as a bipolar person, it's too risky for me to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. What service are you in?
Army.
Army, and where do you serve?
I was out in Fort Bragg. I was in the Special Forces Qualification course.
Oh, wow.
Had 2 traumatic brain injuries. So yeah, I was right at the end of the SF course, and I got hurt. So came back, did the VA thing. Didn't help. Did everything that everyone was telling me to do. Still ended up at a suicide attempt. So and then I went down to Mexico and did this psychedelic that I've heard people talk about, and changed my life.
That's great.
Yeah.
So have you been you've been okay since then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually go back now and I take veterans down there to get the treatment.
Right on.
So yeah, it's pretty hard to explain, like watching someone who's been like tortured their whole life and like dealing with tough stuff, and then in a matter of 4 to 7 days, just like fine.
Right, changes your life.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's and Nevada's the suicide rate among veterans in Nevada is like 3x the average.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and it has to do a lot with access to healthcare, the quality of healthcare.
Well, I know there's a huge problem here with mental health care providers. Like
Huge.
there aren't nearly enough,
Huge.
and that's something that really needs to be addressed. Like
Yeah.
I'm running as a Democrat,
Yeah.
so I'm more of a everybody should have health care,
Yeah.
and if we had access to health care, that would make a huge difference. But really, what we need is we need more providers.
Right.
Right. So I'm hoping to advocate for funding to pay for students to basically go to school to become mental health care professionals,
Cool.
and then maybe to forgive their debt for people who want to serve in rural areas, because that's a huge problem here in
Huge.
Nevada.
Yeah.
Huge problem. Right on, right
Definitely.
on. That's outstanding. Well, I know everybody says this, but thank you for your service,
appreciate
and really brave to go down to Mexico and try that out, and then try and push that forward and do stuff at the legislature.
Yeah.
That's great. So my big issue is trying to get big money out of politics. I'm running a long shot campaign.
All right. Yeah.
But I don't think we get anything
like it.
done until we get that done first.
Yeah.
So I'm proposing a constitutional amendment to do that. But it's
That's
going to
awesome.
take a political movement to get that going, because it's never going to happen top down. We need to convince people to vote based on this. Like we
Yeah.
need to turn people into single issue, big money voters. So if you have a candidate that won't vote to ban big money, you can't trust them.
How do you feel about APAC?
I will not be taking money from APAC.
Right.
I'm not a fan of APAC. I've been very critical of how Israel has been doing this from the start. Like I'm not a fan of Hamas at all, and I've been criticizing them for a very long
Oh
time.
no, I mean you don't like APAC. That means you're a Hamas supporter.
Okay,
It's like,
exactly.
no nuance at all. No nuance. At all.
They can both be bad.
Yeah. Turns out
There
they're
doesn't
not
have
good.
to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man.
Okay. Well, it was
Yeah,
great
let me know
talking to you,
about the
Devin.
block party. Yeah.
Yeah,
appreciate
and I'll
it.
be in touch.
Alrighty, take care.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
I don't know. Honestly, I just really don't want to be a voter. To be honest, I feel like my vote really doesn't matter. I know they say it does, but like,
You know, I understand that point of view, and I'm not one of those people who's going to lecture you on like it's your civic duty to vote and all that stuff, because people say that every individual vote matters,
Okay.
and I don't know that that's necessarily true. Like the chance that your individual vote is going to make a difference is very small.
yeah,
But the argument that I like to tell people who think this way is that voting is a collective activity.
yeah,
It's something that we all do together. So your individual vote might not matter, but if everybody who felt the way that you did
yeah,
did participate, it would genuinely be a revolution in American politics.
Yeah,
Like
hear
I
you.
know that's not going to happen, but
No,
if
yeah,
everybody
I
who
know.
did that, if they all showed up to vote, politicians everywhere would freak out because there'd be this whole block of people that they would have to pay attention to.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
So anyway, I'll tell you what I'm running on. I'm running kind of a crazy campaign.
Okay. What is it?
My goal is to get big money out of politics,
I like that.
because I don't think we're ever going to be able to get the system to deliver the way that we need it
I
to
like that. I like
until
that.
we get big money out
Get
of
them- let's
politics
get them
first.
taxed, yeah.
So exactly. Well, not just that, like we can't get anything done because anytime we do anything that inconveniences big money in
Yeah.
any way,
Good stuff.
big money blocks it. Or the best we get is like peanuts. Like the Affordable Care Act is a perfect example.
Yeah.
We couldn't get the public option
Mm.
for the Affordable Care Act because the insurance industries blocked it. So we got a little bit, but the insurance industries continue to get all kinds of money,
Yeah.
and healthcare prices have only got up. So it was we get peanuts out of it until we get big money out of the system. So here, I'll give you my
I agree
card.
with that.
I'll probably be around sometime and try to register you to convince you to vote for me.
See that.
All right.
Ain't nobody done it so far.
Okay.
Right,
Well, it's
thank
good to
you.
talk to you.
It was nice
Thanks.
meeting you.
I'm a fairly conservative individual.
Okay.
You know, I mean,
All right.
so I was military for 24 years,
All right.
and so when I look at community to me is what drives us to change.
Right.
You know, and let's see. So what am I looking for in a congressional candidate? I think someone that is looking for the betterment of the citizens that he's represented.
Yeah.
You know, and get away from the political aspect of things. Even though I was a mayor of a city, I was not a politician.
All right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I really think that we get stuck in this politics of things, you know, and saying the right things when we should be actually listening and reverberating what the citizens are saying. You know.
I like a lot of what you're saying. I'm doing a lot of the same things, honestly. I'm running as a Democrat, so I am definitely on the left. But I'm also all about community and trying to do things to make things better. And honestly, I'm running this campaign because I want to do things to get the republic working better, because I don't think it's working well right now.
No.
And
I
we
agree.
need communities and talking to each other as Americans.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea of this place.
Yeah.
That we would talk to each other, figure out how we want to be governed,
Yeah.
and then elect people to do that.
Exactly.
So I'm doing this as part of my campaign because I want to put it on camera and show people like this is not hard to do. We can build the communities that we need right outside our front door. We just got to get out and do it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then my other big issue is getting big money out of politics.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't
100%.
I don't think we're gonna ever be able to get the system working and delivering for us, regardless of what side of the aisle we're on, until we get that done first.
Yeah.
And it's like we keep focusing on these tactical issues.
Yeah.
Like, what do I need to run on now in order to win this next campaign? And this larger strategic issue is being completely ignored.
Yeah.
So we'll probably disagree on a lot of like particular issues, but I'm also the kind of person like we need to be treating with each other with respect. Like I think
Absolutely.
reasonable people, we have a lot of the same values. We might have different ideas on how to achieve those values when it comes to government, but we all want the same things. We want good schools. We want safe communities for our families. We want strong communities where we can relate to each other.
Right.
We want a strong economy. We want all of that stuff.
And
Question
an
is,
open
like,
debate, right?
and an open debate, and to like find solutions
Right.
that can, I don't know that they necessarily work for both sides, but everybody gets a little bit of something. Like people always say like you meet in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's necessarily the case. Like I'm more interested in like, okay, we think this stuff's going to work. Let's do this. You guys think that stuff's going to work. Well, let's try to do that too. And let's try it and find out.
Yeah.
Like I take a very experimental view towards legislation. Like I have ideas of what we need to do, and I don't know whether they're going to work.
Yeah.
The only way you know is to try. And I think we need to have a lot more humility when it comes to legislation and be willing to look back and find out what's working and what's not working and revisit things.
What's worked in the past.
And right.
You know,
And
those kind of things.
and I don't know that we necessarily need to have the same answer for everyone. Like I was thinking about this the other day when it comes to education, like higher education, when it comes to like student debt and all that stuff, like it's a big issue.
Yeah.
And I was doing research on it, and like Congress has been looking into this forever.
Yeah.
They've done all kinds of research on it, and the Democrats have one idea of what they want to do. The Republicans have another idea of what to do. It can't come to any agreement. And I'm like, okay, well, why not both guys?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we have one program? We can try have two different programs. We can allow states, because we have a federalist system, to decide which one they want to try. And then we can find out what actually works.
Yeah.
I mean, my suspicion is that, you know, some things on one side are going to work and other things won't work so well, and probably find the same thing on the other side. And then we actually like learn from doing. All right.
Yeah.
So that's what
Right.
I'm running on.
All right, cool.
Your
Your name again?
Josh Hebert.
Josh,
Let me get you a card.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Now, this day and age, just contacting people once is not enough. So I had to send out multiple waves of text messages in order to get as many people to RSVP as I possibly can. So after doing that about 3 or 4 times, I managed to get about 17 people to RSVP for the initial party, which was great. Unfortunately, we had really cold weather and a snowstorm. So the day that I had scheduled for the block party, the temperature was not getting out of freezing and there's a bunch of snow on the ground. So I didn't want people freezing their butts off and slipping on the ice. So we canceled for that day and then we rescheduled for today. Now, I haven't gotten nearly as many responses for today, so I'm not expecting as many people to show up. But you know what? That's okay. Things like this are going to happen, and the whole point is to get this started and get that momentum going. Hopefully, while we're out there having a good time, people will drive by, they'll walk by, they'll see us out there and go, hey, what's going on? And come over and talk to us. So this is all part of an organic process of getting this community built in your own neighborhood. And it really doesn't matter how small that it starts. You just have to get it going and get people excited about it. So once you've got your list of emails, what you need to do is you need to go on a website like Sign Up Genius and create a sign up for your block party. So when you have an idea of how many people are going to show up, just do an estimate of the kind of things that you're going to need and in what quantities, and set up the Sign Up Genius for that, and then send out the emails to the people using that program. And again, just like with the text messages, you're going to need to send out messages multiple times because a lot of people don't check their email these days. So you have to keep pinging them with stuff to make sure that they follow through. And then I also like to send out text messages just to remind people that they've been sent emails from Sign Up Genius so that they do sign up for things. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a party where you don't have all of the stuff that you need. So this party, I got maybe like half the people to sign up for Sign Up Genius stuff. So we'll have some chips. I made some snacks myself. I got some extra drinks. I'm having my folks bring a table and some extra drinks as well. So you might have to cover a little bit on your own the first time, but hopefully as people get used to this, they will follow through more on subsequent ones and it'll get easier. But the first one's always going to be a little bit shaky. So this is the street where we're going to do the block party. I chose this one because it's nice and flat, it's long, it's private, so we can spread out here, we can set up chairs. Hopefully in the future, as this party gets bigger, we'll have space for things like bounce houses and games for kids. Maybe have people come and play some music because I know some people in the local music scene. So you want to try and find a location like this so that you can spread out and your neighborhood block party or whatever event you want to throw can grow. So I'm hoping people will enjoy it here. We got good sun, we got good weather, so today's a great day. So hopefully we get a lot of people coming out.
Come again.